broadcast network, AfterBuzz TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AfterBuzz TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after-shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Welcome back to the S.H.I.E.L.D. show on AfterBuzz TV. I don't know this song.
You almost had
it. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. After Show here on AfterBuzz TV. After a week away, real sad about that. Sad about other things. We're going to talk all about it. This is Season 2, Episode 9, Ye Who Enter Here. I'm Matt Lieberman. Joining me, as always, Megan Salinas is here.
Hey there, agents.
Zach Wilson's here.
Hey, guys. Welcome
and
back.
Joyce Ajouri is here.
I has a sad.
Everybody is sad. I got to hold up all the energy in this room because everyone just wants to crawl up into a ball of sads.
Have you ever seen a large hairy man cry?
I have. It's not a pretty sight. Megan has just lost it at this image.
Sorry, guys.
That's all right. So, folks, this episode, I mean, obviously we're upset over the perceived death of one Mr. Mac.
I actually don't think he's dead.
You don't think he's dead? I hope he's not dead, if only because he was a great character. Which makes his death all the more crushing.
Have you seen the Evil Dead movies by any chance?
I've seen Army of Darkness.
If they're going that route, he's still running around down there.
Yeah. I mean, I think in terms of the actor, he's got at least one episode left.
Right, as a dead body.
Well, no, as an active villain that's going to chase him down.
Got it.
Yeah, because if they go down there and there's no body right at the get-go, that means he is running around down there in the dark, which S.H.I.E.L.D. just became a horror movie if that's the case. Which,
I mean, we could use a little horror sometimes. Maybe not on ABC, The River. Joyce, how do you feel?
I was going to say, we were talking about it just right before we started. I know you're convinced that perhaps his neck snapped while he fell.
Yes.
I'm not.
Okay.
And it's not only because I don't want him to be dead, but it's also because I think it'd be more interesting to see what that thing can do to somebody who's not worthy.
Yeah, I know my horror movies. I agree with you. I think that maybe Mac is dead, but I don't think that whatever that was is done yet.
Should we dive into this whole sequence?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
So when he I think he's okay because when he touches the little like logo on the bottom on the floor and activates it and gets whatever injected into him, whatever kind of Kree technology.
The logo?
I don't. The little button.
You could have gone with like
logo.
the insignia or the symbol.
When he touches the Xbox on button.
The Kree logo.
That's kind of what it was.
Yeah. Right.
He did hit the power
When
button.
he touches the Dr. Manhattan logo.
And his eyes were the red death light thing, whatever it's
Oh,
called.
yeah,
The
red
ring
lights,
of death.
red ring of death.
Red
yeah.
ring of death eyeballs.
But when he gets that like Kree injection or whatever it was, stop it. He became super strong. Like
Right.
he got endued with like a superhuman or inhuman strength of sorts. I think that would be enough to help him survive a 100-foot fall.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it gave him some sort of... I mean, he was practically indestructible when they were trying to bring him down. I can't imagine falling 100 feet would kill him right away.
Maybe not right away.
I don't think he's dead.
Okay, fine.
Plus, look at those muscles, man.
It's easier to believe
know.
that he's not dead than to accept the fact that he is.
I know, but it's just... okay, hear me out here. I'm real sad because even if he's not dead, I don't think he's coming back to normal.
Not as Mac, no.
Not as Mac, which is a huge bummer because they've been giving him all this great character development. Meanwhile, and first of all, it would be the first agent on the show, main agent, not a guest star, to die. And he's
Are you
African.
counting Victoria Hand and Lucy Lawless's character? Do they not?
No, because
count?
they are not on the
Okay.
team.
They
That's
were
fine.
guests. They were
And
guest roles.
they weren't
Yeah.
recurring as much as Mac.
Exactly. He's African American. It would really bum me out that an African American agent is the first one to die, and it would just feel a little backward. Especially because it's great how diverse the cast is this season. But on the other side of it, Trip has been just sitting there with no character development.
Right.
And, if he had become a weapon, I would have been more okay with it because it would have given him something to do. Now, mind you, Simmons was dressing his wounds this week, and I'm like, okay,
That was a
finally.
great scene.
No, because Fitz is coming onto the plane. I'm like, oh man, okay, he's gonna see them. It's gonna be a hole, and no,
It didn't happen.
again. And it's just sort of like, what are
What's
we
his
doing
point?
with Trip at this point? It drives me nuts.
I don't know. I agree. I think they're really underutilizing Trip, but that's kind of what shows are doing nowadays is they purposely get you attached to one character that in the back of your mind is probably going to die, and you kind of know that they're manipulating you, but you can't help but get attached anyway.
I was like this. I thought I was watching S.H.I.E.L.D. and not The Walking Dead or Game of Thrones, where they just sort of kill off your favorite characters.
They're like, hey, we're gonna spend a few episodes making you love this person.
Yes.
You're gonna want them in your lives. You're gonna want
Emotional
to be with them
torture.
every week, and then we're gonna murder them in front of your
What's
eyes.
bad though is that I think just audiences in general, because there's so much of that going on nowadays, I think now we know we're being manipulated and we still tune in anyway.
I can't believe I didn't see it coming because Mac finally got Fitz and Simmons to talk this week.
Yeah.
And it's just sort of like, oh, finally. They're talking, which means he no longer needs a buddy to confess all of his problems to because we already have too many characters on the
Except that we know that he's up to some other crazy thing now.
With
Yes.
Bobby, yeah. What
Yeah.
the heck? What was that about?
I don't know. I mean,
And
it's not...
we have to find out about that. Another reason why Mac probably isn't gone.
Okay.
Well, no,
Or
Bobby's
no-
still around.
Well, no, but him being gone could throw a wrench into whatever that is that's going on, which forces Bobby to bring in one of our other guys, which then introduces us to whatever it is that's happening.
And if it's Trip, then he finally has something to do, which is great because that's very much needed.
Would it be Trip?
I don't
Well, I
know.
guess we don't know what it is, so...
Honestly, what if it was Fitz, though? That would be very interesting. Whatever
She
it
would
is.
have to go to the next tech guy.
Yeah.
And that's Fitz.
Yeah, that's Fitz, who was going to move into the garage with Mac and get bunk beds and have a little junior apartment.
How their bromance would have developed.
Have slumber parties.
Aw. I want to say I love how Mac is in the middle of both relationships in the show, and he understands both relationships. in the show.
He's
so
so
smart.
intuitive.
He is. He's very observant, and he's always like, I don't want to be in the middle of this, but I get what's happening. Fix
Why
it.
would you get rid of a smart,
Mediator.
athletic mediator of relationships who you can insert into any story without disrupting it? And he can deliver all the exposition in a wholly non-offensive way.
Because he settled drama.
Damn it.
Dang it!
And they want to give us that drama.
Yeah. What do we think is the thing that they're up to? Because it's not being members of Hydra, right?
Well, not necessarily.
Are you bringing Hunter in on the other thing?
Yeah.
That's the quote.
Which, at first, I had a brief moment of were these two?
Yeah.
And it's no, they weren't together or something, but
It could be something. Age of Ultron is a little ways away, but maybe Bobby has some tie to Fury. She did bring him up this episode.
True.
That's not what Fury would do. But so maybe Fury has his eye on things too, and maybe she's kind of reporting to him. I'm still operating under the possibility that either she or Simmons has been brainwashed by Hydra. I mean, it's possible now. If I was to suspect either of them, now I suspect her a little bit more.
Ooh, what if this is a crazy swing? But since we're getting towards the cosmic universe now, what if it's S.H.I.E.L.D., which is, I don't remember what it stands for, but it's essentially the outer space shield.
I feel like they don't have the resources for S.W.O.R.D., considering that S.H.I.E.L.D. got blown all to hell, and I feel like with the little cube thing that Fury you would have a thing about S.W.O.R.D.
I know that there have been rumors going around about Chris Pratt coming on as a guest for the show. I know that that's just rumors that's in the ether.
Yes, please.
Chris Pratt said, "I would be down if it makes sense."
But
And then everyone else is like, that's not going to make any sense at all.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean
By the way, SWORD stands for Sentient World Observation and Response Department.
Whoa.
Thank you, Sean.
Yeah.
Thank you, Wiktionary.
Yeah, thank you, Sean, our wonderful engineer. Here's what I think the thing is that they're doing. I think they are either A, selling secrets and or weapons to a third party that is not Hydra or S.H.I.E.L.D. So not SWORD. There's got to be some other faction at play here. I'm thinking something like that. That makes the most sense to me.
But neither one of those characters strikes me as working for anyone bad.
But Bobby does know a lot of people.
Yeah,
I mean,
she's got connections all over the world.
Someone bad per se, but she does have a lot of connections. It could be
Could
anyone.
it be something with Maria Hill?
Maybe.
That's
And
definitely a
Stark?
possibility.
Because Maria Hill's currently working for Stark. We know that just from the previews of what we've seen in Ultron, that she's still working with the Avengers.
Right.
So it could be somehow supplying them with stuff.
It just...
But why would that be
Her tone.
a problem?
Her tone was just sort of like, this is not something that he would want to know.
Yeah.
He can't know that this is going on because he'll make a big stink about it.
Yeah, because I hope that pardon me. I hope it's not some sort of long con. I hope you're right. I hope that whatever they're working on, whatever side project, that it's with good intentions.
It's possible. Shall we talk about this city that everyone's so crazy to find?
It's haunted.
Yeah.
Yay!
Haunted cities. We thought we had
alien
it
city.
all. Haunted alien city.
We finally said the word Kree.
Yes, confirmed.
Yeah,
finally.
The Kree.
Thank you.
Well, they confirmed it officially a couple weeks ago online, but it's nice to actually hear it in the show.
Yeah.
It's not
nice.
canon until it's in the show.
It's like the moment
Yeah.
we've been waiting for this entire series.
Well, since we saw the blue alien
Yeah.
and we called Kree immediately.
It's nice to get validated, right?
It is very nice to be validated.
Yeah, it's only, a season later that
Exactly.
they, show it, and then they're like, we don't know what it is. It's a Kree, isn't it? We don't know what it is.
Blue Angels.
Yeah, the Blue Angels, the fighter pilots in World War II. But we also got confirmation that Reyna and Skye are not aliens, and the Doctor is not an alien, and that they are very much human.
For now.
But they are, the word she used was freaks. Is that another word for inhuman? Perhaps?
Yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I mean, Marvel's building them basically to be their replacement for the X-Men.
Got it.
Yeah, it's so funny to have to get so much in this episode and still have so little, because we got a lot of exposition from Reyna and a lot of explanation, but so much of it was vague that there's still a lot that's up for debate and speculation.
And every time she talks about something that is very revealing, there's still that part of her that makes it seem like is she telling the truth? Is she really being honest? She's been really good at keeping me guessing anyway. And I'm sure Skye too.
The one thing I'm curious about, though, because Reyna says that her group of freaks, but what is it that makes them freaks?
Exactly.
Because they're not inhuman yet. If she's still fully human.
Right. Their powers are far more subtle than anything we've seen from any gifteds on the show.
Well, and she talks about lineage too, which implies a lot of inhuman stuff.
Yeah, that relates deeply in there. But have we seen Reyna do anything?
She's
just hold the obelisk.
Yeah.
Other than that, have we seen her
she's
do
very
anything
intuitive,
supernatural?
and she's very intuitive, and she knows how to convince people of stuff.
It's like
She's
she has a
very
sixth
persuasive.
sense.
Yeah, she kind of has the third eye a little bit.
She might have some degree of telepathy, maybe.
But we haven't seen it definitely oh look, she telepathically lifted that book off the
No,
shelf.
again,
nothing, yeah.
everything with her is very, very vague.
Maybe she doesn't even know what else she could do yet.
I want to know who was this rich guy that she was getting Chia waters with, who she had just conned into like being her new banker boyfriend.
Taking her to China.
Yeah.
Shanghai.
And
Going all around the
then
world.
that guy just turns around, honey, where'd you go?
Where'd you go?
He's
What?
like, it's okay. There goes my gold digger of the week.
Guess he's used to it. But she wasn't the only girl in the flower dress this week.
That's true. We open with this sky dream, the sky mare.
I almost forgot about that. There's so much going on.
I did too.
Yeah. Which I feel like what is that, like a repressed memory of when Coulson and May left her at the door of the orphanage, because I'm totally calling it was them who did it.
Probably.
Yeah, didn't we in season one?
Totally.
Didn't we like get like semi-confirmation that?
Semi-confirmation, but never clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, we never saw it.
We're getting closer to that validation.
Yeah, I think it's that had to be Sky, and the flower dress and all the stuff in this episode with her and Raina. Are they?
I mean, it was
sisters?
Raina was. I'm sure Raina doesn't know everything from Sky's father, so maybe Sky's father didn't tell her, doesn't even know that maybe Raina could be her relative somehow. But that could be kind of telling, her wearing a flower dress in the beginning.
I don't think they're at least closely related. They might be distantly related, since we're speculating that they're both inhuman, or at the very least have something to do with some sort of Kree lineage. But
Cousins.
But, well, she probably, Raina to a degree, maybe views Sky as kind of a maybe sort of stepsister, because her dad did take them in. So maybe even though he didn't necessarily feel that way, maybe she saw Sky's father as sort of a surrogate father for herself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's possible. Yeah, that all makes sense to me. Sorry, I'm just wrapped up in my Stitch
I feel
joke.
like you were waiting to say that.
I wanted to say it. And
I
you
can see
kept
it in your
talking.
face.
I'm sorry,
Oh,
go
is that what that?
I saw it in your face. I was like, he's going to say something.
Sorry.
No, don't apologize for making points over me making jokes. That's the whole point of this show, is making points.
But your jokes are so much funnier.
Oh, it's not about funny. It's about breaking down the show.
Cousins.
Anyway, what was in the lockbox?
What was in the
Or in the little
lockbox?
music box?
She didn't want him to open it.
Whatever, they
The
called it a
subtitles,
calliope.
It was a calliope.
It's calliope.
Calliope.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I've never seen that word before.
Me neither. I was like, Calliope?
The only reason I know is because of audiobooks. I'm like, calliope, that's a funny word.
But I do love that it was playing Daisy.
Give me your answer, do.
Which just makes me think of like Hal and like creepy machinery.
But it's also very much, I think, the doctor's state of mind of like, Daisy, give me your answer, do. I'm half crazy, all for the love of you. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Makes sense.
It does make sense. There's
Please
so
open. Don't ask me to open the bay doors, Matt. Please.
I can't do that, Dave.
Mysterious voice.
Yeah, Sean, it's all right, Sean. You can power down now, Sean.
Oh,
Okay.
my mind is going.
So many Koenigs in this episode.
13 Koenigs.
I want that to be
JK.
true.
I was waiting for that, like, after he said, I'm thinking of just Patton Oswalt, but after he said 13, I was like, and they were like, oh, we get people with that number every time. I thought they were going to say, like, a higher number.
Yes.
Or even like
Just
it's
kidding, 45.
they went like it's actually 8.
yeah, or that.
So,
Keeping it ambiguous.
do we know what they are yet? Like, are they just triplets, or identical cousins, or androids, or
I
clones?
think there's way more of them out there.
Yeah.
I'm going to say clones.
Did-
Didn't they
clones.
originally call the original Koenig? Didn't he say I have a cousin, not
He
a
said
brother?
brother.
He did. It was originally
It was
a
a
Yeah, it
brother.
was
brother.
originally
Okay.
brother.
For some reason, my memory thought it was a cousin. Either way, I can like the more Patton Oswalt we have in this show, the
He
happier
was
I'll be.
hilarious tonight. He was so funny.
Playing off himself was great. The stealth umbrella was very funny.
So badass.
Give me a hug. It's not creepy.
I
it's
love
not a
that.
pervy
That
thing.
was really cool. I
Yeah.
thought of Harry Potter immediately, and then like later on, Sky made a Harry Potter reference.
Yeah. She made a Harry Potter reference at the same time that I got a text about Harry Potter.
What?
Yeah. Or not a text, a Facebook invite to a Harry Potter themed event.
That's so weird.
I know, it was crazy, right? Live studio audience that has always been here and we've never referenced before. Nothing.
It's all
from
connected,
peanut
Matt.
butter.
They're very wishy-washy.
Yeah.
They're very fickle audience.
Very fickle live audience. Oh. See, they just live to hate. That's all. All right, folks.
Calm down.
Before we move on, I just need to really quickly, as always, talk to you about iTunes. My phone is dead, so if someone wants to pick up those reviews and read them,
Let's
it'd be
give it a shot.
real
You
helpful.
talk, we'll try.
I will talk /stall. You do that. You know, folks, I say it every week, and only because it's the truth. The best way to support AfterBuzz TV is how? Go to iTunes and rate and review the shows that you listen to or that you watch on YouTube. It is quick. It is so very easy. All you need to do is type away, and it doesn't cost you a single solitary dime to do so. What are the benefits? I'll tell you. One, for you get your shout out here on the show. Whatever you wrote gets read right here for everybody to hear so that you can hear how much we appreciate you appreciating us. It's also very helpful to everyone here at AfterBuzz TV every time that you rate or review a show, and I'll tell you why. Because the only way that we can keep our doors open and our lights on is to get sponsors to pay for all of it, because we provide free content, tons of it, over 80 hours a week of free content, the widest array of after-show content on any platform, anywhere on the web. We are very proud of that fact. That is the truth. And, you know, when people are looking for potential places to place ads for their products and for their services, they want to see that the podcast audience is happy with the podcast that they receive, that it is popular, that it is well liked, that it is actually a good product with great hosts that will help them connect with their audience, whoever these people are, these lovely sponsor people. Hello. So go to iTunes, rate and review the show.
Guys, we have 232 ratings.
232 ratings. Suck on that, Scandal.
AfterBuzz.
Yeah.
Are we
I was gonna say.
Are we in a grudge match?
I wish this show was edited
Kinda.
because during your little monologue, I wanted to see like a zoom in on your face slowly as you kept talking.
With like patriotic music
Yeah.
slowly swelling.
That would be pretty beautiful. If anyone wants to take the footage from this episode and do something like that and then tweet it to me, I'll be very grateful.
Make him a GIF.
Make me a gift, please.
Okay. So we were off 2 weeks ago, right?
We were off 2 weeks ago.
So that would be the 18th or so that we were last on.
Yes.
Guys, we have a lot of ratings. I want to thank you guys. You guys are awesome.
It was the 18th.
Dino Ninja 7
What up, Dino Ninja 7?
said, great show and great group. I love that the panel has so much enthusiasm for the show and brings so many great insights. Keep up the good work. GH325, if your resurrection lasts over 4 hours, contact your nearest Project Tahiti specialist.
Pretty funny.
It's always funny.
Pretty creative.
Viper Manas 1980 says, great podcast, just a really good podcast. Love the way they intertwine comic information with the TV show. Thanks again. Keep up the great work. Kermit 88 says, the best Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. podcast. I've listened to a few AOS podcasts, and AfterBuzz is the best one. The group enjoys the show, does a great job with the recap, and helps me fill in the gaps. They have fun with it, and I look forward to hearing the podcast every Wednesday morning.
That's nice.
It's real nice.
On
Blink.
YouTube, Thomas Daly said, I can see this show getting a season 6 through 8, perhaps.
Wow.
I think you meant the actual show, not us.
Well,
By
We'll be lucky.
extension.
Well,
Yeah,
It's a
we'll
given.
still be here.
That's if they
As long
let
as
us
the
stay.
show happens.
Blink Mimic says, you guys are too funny and you really know your stuff. Rob 1234567889990 says, very fun and insightful after show podcast. It is great to hear their discussion and some zany prediction they come up with. Marissa in DC says, the hosts are lively and informed, and I always gain a new insight from listening to their thoughts on the episodes. I especially like hearing how the comics may tie into the show, since that's not something I have the background on. I look forward to listening to this every week. Keep up the great work.
Cool.
And lastly, Anthony Wickizer says, hilarious podcast. I just found this podcast over the 2-week wait for new episodes and quickly caught up. I don't regret it at all. They are hilarious while still being pretty insightful, even though they are completely wrong and Grant is irredeemable. podcasts don't get much better than this.
There's still time for Ward.
Even though we're completely wrong.
He was a Nazi for a bit.
Did he at some point in that review say, "I don't regret it at all"?
Yeah, like he at one point he regretted. He thought he might regret.
He would regret it.
Well, I don't know about you guys, but anytime I need like a little self-esteem booster, I just go and read the comments for like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. either on
Seriously.
iTunes or on YouTube, and it makes my day.
Yeah,
Seriously, you guys
of
are
all
the
the
best.
podcasts that I do on AfterBuzz, the S.H.I.E.L.D. fans are definitely the nicest and the most sincere.
The warmest reception.
Yeah, totally.
And I'm going to put a challenge to you folks, because this show is going to go off the air as of next week and isn't going to come back till the spring. And I decree...
I decree.
I see what you did there.
See what I did? If we're at 232 ratings, there is nothing stopping us from, by the time we come back in the spring, hitting 300. Yeah.
It's on
Let's
you.
do it.
Yeah.
We can do this.
Let's make the scandal people shake in their boots. That's
So you gotta explain this to me. Do we have a grudge match with them? Or
They just have always been the podcast with the most vocal fan base. They have been the podcast with the most ratings and reviews, and that is not lost on me. As somebody who, as many people know, hosts a lot of podcasts here. And I would very much like to have one to just rub right in the faces, because we have great fans who I think would also want us to rub right in the faces.
Nothing wrong with a little healthy competition.
They're both on
Agreed,
ABC.
agreed.
I see nothing.
I want to rub that number 3 in their face.
Okay.
The 3 in 300.
Oh, okay, I get it. Why? Why not rub all of it?
Instead of just that first digit.
Yeah, just all of it. How about
All this rub talk is making me uncomfortable.
speaking of 3, let's talk about Agent 33.
Yes.
Who resurfaced in this episode. Freaky May clone with a robot voice and a
Robot
shocked
voice.
off face. Yeah, so funny. I like the first part of the Sky Agent 33 fight when they're in the hallway. I was really impressed with how Sky was handling herself. Then we cut to a commercial break.
Yeah, that was weird.
When we come back, the fight was maybe not staged the greatest. Like, I couldn't tell who was who for half of
Like,
it.
it didn't seem like it was continuing from what we saw before.
Well, yeah, when
the
it cut away to a
commercials.
commercial, they were both reaching for the gun. And then when we come back, it's like, oh, I guess that's
We're
not
still
really
fighting.
an issue
They're
anymore.
being thrown through the door.
Right.
Yeah.
They throw each other through the door. The gun goes flying into the room.
And then they fall face plant.
Mm.
And then it kind of had a little bit of a lackluster end with Hunter just coming in there and like side
Yeah.
tackling her.
And
they
they didn't tie her up.
didn't do anything. It's like she's still a threat, guys.
Yeah.
Like as soon as she's up and about, she's going to go after you.
I will say, though, I really liked seeing Sky in basically her first long fight scene. She did really well, and May, being her SO, is totally rubbing off on her in a good way. I mean, she was great, and I like how one of her end moves was more of that Black Widow positioning that we saw before.
Like again, the first part of the fight was
What?
we are with a bunch of immature boys.
No, it's just because you were the one who was talking about all the rubbing was really inappropriate, and then you said just like it was rubbing off on her, and then you said finishing position that was a lot like Black Widow, and it was just, I'm sorry, okay, I'm not perfect.
See, no,
we
listen,
had problems.
Listen, I thought when I said rubbing off, I thought of that, but I didn't want to repeat
You were
it.
real professional.
I didn't even have to look at Matt. I knew what his face was gonna look like.
It was a lot like this.
Yeah, and I saw your guys' face. I was like, what did I say? Oh, yeah. Okay.
I don't know if you know, but you get super red.
We got
when
lots
you're
of rubbing and finishing moves. Let's
Yes.
continue.
yeah, moving on.
On this scene, though, I
Yes.
will just say, I know that this is a S.H.I.E.L.D. team that is not very violent, doesn't kill very often.
Right.
I would have expected Hunter knocking Agent 33 down to just end it. I would expect that character to say, We have a dangerous enemy agent down for the count.
Yeah, especially because he's a mercenary.
Who will continue to put our lives in danger. Blam. Done.
And aside from the last scene in this episode, I can't really see much use for her. I mean, not at least not in this episode, but
I feel terrible for her because this is a tragic story, the story of Agent 33, because she was a loyal S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, very competent, and S.H.I.E.L.D. they wanted her on the team, and she gets snatched up by Hydra, tortured and brainwashed. And then gets as she's working for Hydra.
Mayoplasty.
Exactly. Gets electrocuted to the face and is still the pawn of Hydra and is now permanently disfigured as a result.
It's real sad.
yeah.
It is sad. I would just expect Hunter in terms of like his character.
Well, I'm wondering if they're keeping her alive so that eventually the brainwashing will wear off or she'll snap out of it. And then, again, we have this very tragic character, very similar to Deathlock, who's been through a lot and, is clearly damaged for what, the bad guys have made them go through.
I'm going to say this, and I know it's not popular to say it, but I feel like it's a production decision, specifically so that the woman who is May's stunt double can do more fight scenes so that they don't have to hire more people, so that we have a recognizable bad guy that we can have physical fights with on multiple occasions that isn't Ward every week, because a fight with Ward has weight, and sometimes you just need a fight to fill time or to be an obstacle. And I feel like that's what she is right now. I'd be very, very curious to see if she becomes more of a character than she is right now, because you're right, she has all this inner life, but she's not getting to play that, really. She got to play a little bit when she was talking about how she failed her mission and how she was ashamed of it. I really like that stuff. It remains to be seen. I want to talk about Ward. We're running low on time, so I want to talk about Ward, and then I want to go back to Fitzsimmons. Okay, reviewer who says that Grant Ward is irredeemable. He had orders to shoot the plane down, and he didn't. Even with Skye already off of it. You could make the argument that he wouldn't have blown it up because Skye was on it. But he took Skye off the plane, and he didn't blow it up because he didn't want anyone else to die either.
Well, I don't think Skye would have been able to forgive him if he did.
Yeah.
And
Well, but no, I agree with Matt. Like, that shows us a little bit of some sort of redeemable quality, I feel. It's an introduction, at least.
Only with his feelings for Skye. I don't think it was for any loyalty to the team. And we're seeing again, he's not loyal to Whitehall. He's doing this for his own agenda.
Yes, I don't think killing them helps his agenda. So why would he do it? I think that's the type of person he is now. He's not going to kill anyone just cuz. He's not going to let anyone live just cuz. He's out for his own gain. Skye is his own gain because he's in love with her. If anything, if killing them would help him, I think he might go for it. But right now, he doesn't need them dead. Why
it wouldn't earn him any brownie points with the girl he wants to date.
That's true. And you need them brownie points. All right. Fitzsimmons, finally have it out. We finally get to hear from the lady's mouth exactly what went through her mind and why she hasn't been able to say anything to him.
But she told Bobby and not Fitz.
Yes.
She wasn't able to tell Fitz.
They're having some girlfriend talk.
Mm-hmm. And
like
then when she tried to explain, Fitz wanted to get, what he wanted to say off his chest, and so he did. And she never got a chance to say her piece.
They're so in sync that they built up to I had to say my thing at this exact moment.
Right, but they also got to meet somewhere in the middle when Mac didn't know what he was talking about, and then she got to say what he was talking about.
Do you think he really didn't know, or do you think he was like, you know what, she's got this?
No, I think he wasn't able to say it.
Yeah, he legit. He knows but can't get it out. It's
right.
The crossed wires.
And it was the perfect moment for them to both realize that they could still work well together. They're still, have that connection. It was a nice little moment. You could see it in her eyes.
Oh yeah, no, there was definitely that, that Fitzsimmons moment that we've all been waiting for.
It's like, you shouldn't go to the garage. We can still work with each other.
Exactly. But then poor Fitz is faced with the choice of gunning down his best friend, which, like, I love how on this show, when any character on the team is about to use a real gun, they need to specify, this is a real gun with real bullets. This has consequences. All those other times we shoot people, no consequences. This has consequences.
Well, because they tried a nicer and it didn't work.
That's
the guy
true.
just kept going.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's real big and powerful.
He kept going even though they were trying to choke him, too.
Yes. All right. Unfortunately, we are low on time, so we have to go to predictions. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right, people. One episode left before the break. One episode left. Are we getting into the city? Are we getting into the temple? Sky meeting her father. What's happening?
I saw Clark Gregg tweeted right after this episode aired. He's like, can't wait till next week. He had the quote, sick finale.
Nice. Personally, I think they're going to make it to the temple, and right as things are opening up, that's where we're going to end the episode. And they're going to make us wait.
Yeah, I think we're going to get like a little preview, but I also think maybe Mac would be a good introduction to the to that city. I mean, I know he's unworthy and he's kind of damaged at this point, but he could still be a way that leads them to where they need to go.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. He could be
If
like
they're
a
looking for
vessel
him.
now.
Yeah.
Worthy. I mean, I do think Mac's still running around down there. I feel like we're going to get to the temple and a Kree is going to walk out. It could theoretically... The word worthy makes me think of, if you saw Guardians of the Galaxy, they had Ronan the Accuser.
Ronan,
Well, there's
so judgy.
There's tons of it, but there's other accusers. There's a whole bunch of accusers in the Kree Empire. It's like a role, and they deem races worthy or unworthy of being part of the Kree Empire. And I have to and I'm thinking, like, what if there's an accuser in the temple?
They just seem like a bunch of jerks. All of them.
Can someone turn Kree? I mean, I don't know if that's something in the comics.
Well, Kree is like an alien race. Inhumans are part Kree, so sort of. That's sort of becoming Kree. And Captain Marvel is part Kree, so you can be part.
Isn't this city, though, this city moves around in the comics? Like, sometimes it's on the surface of the moon.
If this is Adelon, then yes, right now it's on the moon. But I don't know that this city is not necessarily Adelon.
Got it.
Yeah, we still didn't get an official name for this city. It's just kind
the
of
city.
ruins that are supposedly haunted and is now booby-trapped, as we can see.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I agree with Megan. I think the best way to wrap up this story and to leave us on a juicy cliffhanger till spring is to have the obelisk in place and have big things about to go down, and then we just have to wait.
I also want Ward to pull the rug out from under Whitehall. Although Whitehall's pretty smart, so he might know what's going on.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I think we get to the temple and something walks out, and we see some like crazy thing, or we see like a foot and then black.
Cool. All right, folks. I want to thank you so much for joining us for this very special episode of the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. After Show here on AfterBuzz TV. Megan Salinas, where can the people find you?
You can follow me on Twitter at @themenguin. That's TheMenguin, and I'm also on a bunch of shows here at AfterBuzz.
And Zach Wilson.
You guys can follow me on Twitter at @ThatZachWilson, ThatZachWilson. Bunch of shows here at AfterBuzz: Sleepy Hollow, Grimm, Z Nation finale, and Doctor Who Classics returns tomorrow.
Yay! And Joyce.
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at JAJOURI, and on the Walking Dead and Gotham podcast when they come back after their mid-season break.
Okay, and you can find me on Twitter at Matt Lieberman. That's MattLieberman. You can also find all my videos for SourceFed Nerd, and my personal channel on YouTube, youtube.com/Matthew D. Lieberman. I'm going to be doing some fall season reviews and wrap-ups in the next month, so come to my channel, check those out. I want to thank you all so much for joining us. We'll be back next week. Good night.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.